Hi all, this is Subbu. Welcome to Azure SQL Champ YouTube channel. Uh, this is our seventh session as part of SQL's our L1 DBA task. During this session, we are talking about isolation levels. So, how many types of isolation levels are available in SQL Server? So, what will happen if we change the isolation level? What exactly isolation level? That is what we are focusing on that one part. If you wanted to see my previous sessions, so you need to go to the my YouTube channel along with go to the playlist where you can find a playlist called SQL Server L1 DBA series, where you can get all the previous my L1 series session where you can go and watch it. Okay, without any delay, let's go into the concept. So as part of today's session, as I told, we are going to discuss about the asset isolation level. So before I go into the isolation level, let's see about what is asset properties, what is transaction, what is consistency. Okay, first we need to know about the transaction. Means whatever we are performing in SQL Server, technically we should call it as a transaction, and every transaction need to satisfy asset properties. Whatever we are performing that need to satisfy asset properties. So and ATIS property stands for atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. What is atomicity? So every transaction, whatever you are performing, that need to be fully committed or fully rolled back. Means whatever we are performing, that need to be fully committed or fully rolled back. That stands for atomicity. So consistency means so whatever the transaction we are performing on SQL Server, that should not violate the behavior that should not violate the behavior of our transaction. When we are trying to load into the database, that should not violate the behavior. That will be taken care by consistency. And finally, the main concept is isolation level. So nothing but concurrent transactions. So how you are going to handle concurrent transactions means multiple transaction at same time at same object. So for example, you are having employee table. On that employee table, you are trying to perform some insert or update or delete. Same time, if user wants to perform certain activities on that table, how SQL Server will act accordingly. So whether SQL Server will allow user to, or SQL Server will block that user to until the user one completes. Until the user one completes. So that will be taken care by isolation level. We are going to discuss more about isolation level. And coming to durability, once it fulfill everything, whatever the changes you made, that need to uh, protect. So how SQL Server is protecting means whenever whatever the changes you are going to perform at the buffer, all the changes will reflect to the database log file to maintain the durability. In case if something happened, your voice got crashed or something happened to the hardware, okay, whatever the changes you made in the buffer, all the changes will move into the LDF file for safe side. So every transaction must and should satisfy asset properties. Okay, before we go into the isolation level, we must and should understood about isolation models. Okay, we are having two models. Okay, one is pessimistic, one is optimistic. So what is pessimistic isolation level model? What is optimistic isolation level models? So when you go for pessimistic isolation level models, if the current state of the data is inconsistent, means read or blocks means. So for example, if you are performing the changes, whenever you are performing inserts or updates or delete, SQL Server will acquire a lock. SQL Server will acquire a lock means whenever your database is changing, okay, SQL Server will acquire a lock on the read operation until the user one completes. Means until the modification done, you can't read the data. Means here you will see n number of locks, different kinds of locks that we are going to cover in the as part of in this video series. Next session we are going to cover different types of locks. When you go for optimistic, here something different, where nothing but your data is row versioning. Okay, what do you mean by row versioning means, for example, whatever the changes you are making, all the changes will first move into the tempdb version store. tempdb version store, whatever the changes you are moving, all the changes will move into the tempdb version store. Sorry, tempdb version store. So this will reduce the locks whenever we are performing basically. So whenever you start performing, so it will reduce the lock on the database level. So basically we are having different types of isolation level in SQL, like read uncommitted isolation level, read committed isolation level, repeatable read isolation level, serializable isolation level, snapshot isolation level, snapshot read commit isolation level. Total we are having six isolation level. So first four isolation levels will falls under pessimistic isolation level. Okay, snapshot isolation level, snapshot read commit isolation level will falls under optimistic isolation level. What is exactly happening? I will going to take a separate session for snapshot isolation level and snapshot read commit isolation level with the live sessions. Okay, so which falls under optimistic isolation level. Under optimistic isolation level, you can reduce the blockings, you can reduce the locks, you can reduce the blocking, you can reduce the deadlock whenever you set. But here one major challenge, you need to properly configure tempdb. So because whenever you set the snapshot as a level, your data is raw version into the tempdb version store. Maybe there may be possibility you will see tempdb will grow like anything whenever you are performing bulk operations, especially under snapshot isolation level. So try to configure best TempDB whenever you are choosing snapshot isolation level, so that you won't see any performance impact when you are performing business transactions. Okay, so let's discuss optimistic isolation level later. First, we'll focus today, as part of today, we'll focus on the pessimistic isolation level, read commit, read uncommitted, repeatable read isolation level, serializable isolation level. So, especially, so uh, what is the main goal of isolation level means whether a read request a lock or not. So whenever you are reading the data, whether you need a lock or not. So you don't want any lock, or you want place a lock. Also, how long I need to place that lock. How long I need to place that lock. What is the main goal of isolation level means whenever you are trying to read the data same time, again whole this session same time on the same object, whenever you are trying to read, whether I need to place a shared lock or not, whether I need to protect the reads or not, or how long I need to place a lock whenever I'm trying to read. So that mainly focus today's session, all will comes. So previous session I already covered about the reads. If you not yet watched, go and watch this session. Dirty reads, non-repeatable read, phantom reads. What is the reads? Now these reads we are going to protect with the help of isolation level. And the sequence of isolation level is read committed isolation level, and read commit isolation level, repeatable read isolation level, serializable isolation level. These four falls under pessimistic isolation level. And the snapshot isolation level, snapshot read committed isolation level will falls under optimistic isolation level, where you can see little bit low blocking and deadlocks. And if you wanted to change the isolation level, very simple. If you go to the command prompt, you can go and change set transaction isolation level, read uncommitted or read committed or repeatable read or serializable or snapshot isolation level from the command prompt. And if you want to set from the tool level, go to the options, go to query executor, go to SQL Server, go to the advanced. Here you will see the set transaction isolation level to read committed. By default, your database isolation level is read committed isolation level. By default, your database is read commit isolation level. You can also run dbcc user options. When you run dbcc user options, you can see what is your default isolation level is read committed isolation level. So this is the default isolation level. So when let's start one by one, and we'll see demos so that you will understand how these isolation levels are working, how the logs, what kind of logs will go for next session, how whether you are able to run or whether you are able to block, you are on a block state. You will see one by one. Let's go into the demo part. Before that, let's start one by one. First, we are going to discuss read uncommitted. This is the lowest isolation level. This is the lowest isolation level where you will see in the entire isolation level. This is the least isolation level, lowest isolation level. Means read uncommitted is not protecting any one of the reads. Means it is not protecting dirty reads. It is not protecting non-repeatable reads. It is not protecting phantom reads. It is not protecting anything. Means whenever you are performing, so user one is, if user one is performing insert, update, delete, user two can read the data. User 2 can read the data. If user is performing select statement, user 2 can insert the data, update the data, delete the data. Vice versa is possible. Means it is not protecting any reads when you go to the read uncommitted isolation level, because we are reading uncommitted data. So to jump into the demo, so here I provided multiple demos. Uh, Try to go on reproduce the issue on your environment, and let us know in case any challenge. Please ping me in the comment. I will respond you for that one. Okay. Now for the demo, I'm just creating one table, just creating one employee table and inserting four records, three records. Okay, so first, as part of uncommitted, I am trying to write a statement begin transaction, and I am updating the data. And I'm for the demo purpose, I'm using wait for delay for 15 seconds, and I'm just rollbacking. I am not committing the data, I am rollbacking the data. So whenever user one is performing update statement, basically be in your database is read committed, you should not allow select statement, because whenever your update statement is running, you can't read the data. You can't read the data. But again, this is case to case. When we go for indexes, that case to case will change again. We will come up with the best indexes classes in the future. Definitely you can go and watch to get more understanding about related to indexes. Again, whatever the algorithm we are discussing, that algorithm may change when we go for the indexes. Means if your table and if your column contains indexes, that can be primary key, that can be non-cluster indexes, means cluster index, non-cluster indexes, covering indexes, the locking blocking algorithm will change. Okay, stay tuned. We will get the index session as well in the coming days. Okay, now whenever I am running this update statement, same time I am running the select statement with read uncommitted. Now, see, still your update statement is running. You got the output, means your select statement has been executed and you got the output. But user is not committing, user will roll back. User will roll back. Again, if you go and run the select statement, actual data is 1000, your data is 1000, but last, whenever you trigger last, it read 999. Means we are not guarantee whether user will commit or roll back the data. So always you should not encourage to application team to read uncommitted data. Always they need to read the committed data. Either you setting read uncommitted isolation level, or you can also get uncommitted data even whenever your isolation level is read commit by setting with no lock query hint. So we can also try this demo once again. Okay, now you can go on trigger. Okay, see, still the update statement is running and you are able to see the data, and it's not blocking anything. You read the data because you are past the query hint called no lock. Whenever you are setting no lock, we are explicitly telling to SQL Server, don't acquire any lock. When I'm performing select statement, go and just run the select statement. Okay, same demo you can reproduce in Azure SQL database. Okay, so for that I already created one Azure SQL database. But here in Azure SQL database, by default your database is under snapshot read committed isolation level. By default your isolation level is snapshot read committed isolation level by default. Okay, read committed snapshot isolation level. But when you go to the on premises, it is just read committed isolation level. Please make a note down. Now I am just trying to reproduce the issue. Let me go and create the table. Okay, drop the table and recreate the table, and try to perform the update statements. Okay, sorry. I was in master database. I need to change the database name. Let me change the database name. So uh, to become strong, I'm using Azure Data Studio. So even from make like a habit in Data Studio as well. Okay, whenever you are practicing with the Data Studio, like how SSMS is working nowadays, even Data Studio also we can do lot many things using the extension, using migration. It will help us a lot. Just whenever you get a chance, try to do some experimental using Azure Data Studio as well, like how you are doing in the SSMS. Okay, just create a table. Okay, fine, it's done. Now let's try to perform perform if I can zoom. No, try to perform the update statement. Same time, go to here and perform the same select statement. Here I am running both select statement at a time. Now you got the both select statement output. Okay, okay. What happens? Connected? Yeah. See, sir, you are able to see data. Still your update statement is running. Now update statement is done, but you are able to see the data. Of course, this is a free trial account. You will see little bit delay whenever you are running the demos on Azure SQL database. You should bear with the internet, good internet connection as well. Okay, please make a note down before the update statement completes. So you are able to read the data because you are using read uncommitted isolation level along with no lock. Okay, no lock. Please make a note down. By default in Azure SQL database, it is read committed snapshot isolation level. Okay. Now, when you go to the next isolation level, that is nothing but read committed isolation level. This is the default isolation level, mostly used isolation level in environments, in all environments, and this is the default isolation level. What do you mean by read committed isolation level? Means whenever users are performing inserts, update, deletes, you can't read the data. You can't read the data. All the reads are protected. Means until unless your business transaction completes, you can't read the data. You can't read the data. Means we are providing only committed data to the users. Okay, this is the best isolation level and default isolation level, and mostly we'll use this isolation level. In case you want, we will go for snapshot or snapshot committed isolation level, snapshot isolation level rather than this. In case if you want, you can go for snapshot, but mostly usable isolation level is read commit isolation level. But here it is not protecting non-repeatable reads. It is not protecting phantom reads. It is just protecting the dirty reads. It is just protecting dirty reads. So to show you demo part, okay, so whenever you are performing update statement, same again, same update statement. Okay, same time you can go and perform the select statement. This select statement will hold until this update statement completes. Again, this is also will vary based on your index. Currently this table is not containing any indexes. Okay, so whenever we go for indexes, we will discuss all that part. See, sir, once this update statement complete, automatically your select statement also complete. Until your statement is done, your select statement will hold, because it should provide only committed data. It should provide only committed data. Read committed means committed data. Same thing you can reproduce here. Okay, if you go here and you can run the update statement. Okay, update statement, but here you can read the data. You can read the data spot on. Okay, because it is read committed snapshot isolation level. Okay, so you are getting data from the temp.db. The raw version is happening internally and you are able to see the data. Still your update statement is not done. Still your update statement is just now done. Before that only you are able to see the data, because it is a snapshot, read committed snapshot isolation level, especially when you go to the Azure SQL database. And this is the default isolation level, most preferable isolation level. Now when you go to again read repeatable read isolation level, repeatable isolation level, repeatable read isolation level. Okay, now you are going to protect non-repeatable reads. So when you go for repeatable read isolation level, when you go for repeatable isolation level, repeatable read isolation level, when users are performing inserts, update, deletes, user 1, user is 1 is performing insert, update, delete, user 2 can't read the data. User 2 can't read the data. User 2 can't read the data. Along with, whenever you are performing select statement, you can't update the data. If user 1 is performing select statement, user 2 can't update the data. Means here you are going to protect the updates. You are going to protect the non-repeatable reads. You are going to protect the non-repeatable reads. But it allows the phantom reads. Means whenever you are performing select statement, you can insert the data, you can delete the data, but you can't update the data. So when you go for repeatable read, means you are protecting the concurrency, but you are also getting more logs. You are also getting, you are placing more logs. Means earlier when you go for read committed, whenever you are performing insert, update, delete, okay, it will blocking only read operations. But here, when you are reading select state, when you are performing reading, it is blocking business transaction update. That is not acceptable in the production box. We should not block the business transaction while you are reading the data. While you are reading the data. So repeatable read isolation level means, if you said repeatable read isolation level, it is protecting dirty reads, it is protecting non-repeatable reads, but it is not protecting phantom reads. Means you can perform inserts, update, and delete. So if you go for here, see sir, I am performing here select statement. Okay, I am using repeatable read isolation level. I am performing select statement. Apart from nothing, it's a just select statement. Okay, now I am trying to perform update. User 2 is trying to perform update, but user 2 is blocked. Until user 1 completes, user 2 can't perform update statement. Okay, means it is protecting non-repeatable reads. See, sir, once it is done, this update statement is done. So it is protecting non-repeatable reads, and it is also protect the dirty reads. So to more demos, I already placed the more demos, sir. Example 1, example 2, example 3. Try to go on practice one by one. In case you stuck anywhere, just comment me. I'm going to help you on that part. Even when you go to the Azure cloud also, okay, so whenever you are performing select statement with the repeatable read isolation level, okay, same time when you are performing update statement, it will block until this select statement get complete. Until this select statement get complete, your update statement is blocked. Your update statement is blocked. Means it is going to protect the non-repeatable reads. It is going to protect the non-repeatable reads. Just make a note down. So your select statement is done. Now your update statement is also completed. Now, and last one more isolation level under pessimistic is model, under pessimistic model is last is serializable isolation level. This is the highest isolation level and most dangerous isolation level, where you can see a number of deadlocks. It leads blocking, it may also leads more deadlocks, because it is going to protect all the reads. It is going to protect all the reads. Means whenever you are performing insert, update, delete, it will block the read operations. Whenever you are performing select statement, it will block the updates. Whenever you are performing select statement, it will also blocks inserts, it will also blocks the delete statement. So vice versa, sir. When you are performing inserts, update, delete, it will block your read operation. When you are performing read operation, it will block your business transactions. It will block your business transactions. So it is the highest level of isolation level and more dangerous and more sensitive isolation level. Whenever you really need, you can go for serializable isolation level and try to highlight to your application team. It may leads more number of blocking, and that leads more deadlocks. Instead of setting serializable isolation level, why can't you suggest application team, why can't I go for a snapshot isolation level, read committed snapshot isolation level? It is going to protect the dirty reads, phantom reads, non-repeatable reads with less number of locks, with less number of locks. But for that, before that, you need to properly configure tempdb, otherwise you will see tempdb contention. Okay, instead of preferring serializable isolation level, you can go for optimistic isolation level model, so that will reduce the locks, that will protect all the reads, that will protect the all the reads. So when you go to the demo, so whenever you are performing select statement, again same select statement. Okay, this time I'm trying to insert the data. Your insert will be blocked until your select statement completes. Until your select statement completes. Like same, okay, if you go to the cloud as well, okay, so whenever you are performing select statement, okay, here also you will see your insert will be blocked. Until your select statement completes, your insert statement will hold. Will hold means it is blocking dirty reads, it is blocking non-repeatable, means it is protecting dirty reads, phantom reads, non-repeatable reads. It will protect all the reads and is the highest level of isolation level. So you can go and for isolation level. Okay, so if you go to the image also, a brief. Okay, so read uncommitted is not protecting dirty reads, is not protecting non-repeatable reads, it is not protecting phantom reads. It is not protecting anything. It is the least isolation level. Highest isolation level is serializable. It is protecting dirty reads, it is protecting non-repeatable reads, it is protecting phantom read. And read committed, it will protect only dirty reads, but it won't protect non-repeatable reads, it won't protect phantom reads. When you go for repeatable read, it will protect dirty reads, it will protect non-repeatable reads, but it won't protect the phantom reads. And snapshot, it will protect all. That's what, when you go to the optimistic isolation level model, okay, you need to properly configure tempdb. It will protect all the reads, it will protect all the reads. Okay, so that's it for today's session. That's it for today concept. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope this video helped you a lot. Okay, in case you have any queries or any doubts, okay, please feel to reach out over the comments. I will help you on over the comments as well. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel and click the bell icon so that you will get the future notification. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.